Hi guys, so the far right will never let an opportunity to riot pass them by. Now, a few days ago, two individuals allegedly from a Romanian background were charged by police of attempting to assault a girl in the town of Ballymena in Northern Ireland. This resulted in attacks on properties where members of the Romanian community were living. This was no doubt carried out by far-right mobs with the backing of loyalist paramilitaries, because we're talking about Northern Ireland here. But like the Farage riots, have a listen to how GB News framed these attacks, which have been described by the police as racist thuggery.
Matthew, I mean, when you look at this now, Keir Starmer, I don't think is yet to make any kind of statement on it. Presumably, we've got to hear from the Prime Minister. I mean, he's the Prime Minister of Northern Ireland as well. And he's not hearing. I mean, this is serious disorder on the streets. Yet again, at least initially fueled by people's frustration about legal or illegal immigration. I mean, what's he going to say to this? How would you approach it if you were him?
I think you have to call out the acts. I think regardless of people's frustrations, you can't be acting like this. And I think regardless of whatever your concerns are, if your actions are leading to mothers and children in nearby streets being evicted because you've set their houses on fire reportedly, that's not on, and you're not actually going to get to the goal you think you are, because you lose people at that.
Yeah.
So I think you need to call it out initially. The police, listen, they're used to this sort of thing in Northern Ireland, unfortunately, and will have dealt with worse. But it speaks to a not just with immigration, but people feeling fed up in general. We've seen it in Hare Hills in Leeds earlier last year. We also saw it in Southport following the awful murder of those children. So I don't think this will be the last thing either. There'll be more of this.
Why can't the Prime Minister acknowledge that? Why can't he say, I understand there is a feeling in this country and we need to address it. This is the problem I've got. And rather than addressing it, they'll focus on the violence, which is completely unacceptable. Most good people will agree that this is completely unacceptable violence. But it's going to carry on until politicians go, do you know what, we hear you, we listen to you, give us some time to figure this out, and please stop rioting while we...
Please stop rioting. GB News and the people on GB News from Great Britain don't understand Northern Ireland. They actually think this is an immigration issue. No, immigration is being used as an excuse for people to riot, for people to stamp their authority. We're talking about loyalist paramilitaries here. I covered this before in another video, where an immigrant family had to ask permission from loyalist paramilitaries to move into an area, to move into a street. And who told them to do that? The police service of Northern Ireland. They were told by the police, you need to negotiate with loyalist paramilitaries, a prescribed organisation, a terrorist organisation. You need to negotiate with them in order to move into an area. This is about them stamping their authority. They're using this incident to show that they're in charge. They don't care about immigrants. They want to show that they are boss in Northern Ireland, or in this part of Ballymena. That's what it's about. They're using immigration as a tool. They're using it as an excuse to encourage the far right to go out onto the street and smash up the place, to intimidate immigrants. Because that's what they want at the end of the day, to intimidate people. They used to intimidate Catholics. Well, they can't do that anymore, so they're moving on to somebody else, a softer target. They're intimidating immigrants and showing we are in charge. If you want to move into our community, you need to ask our permission. And if you're not willing to do that, well, then we're going to cause you trouble. And of course, this incident involving two individuals and a girl is a desperate situation. But what needs to happen is the investigation needs to run its course. The individuals, if they're guilty, they need to be put behind bars. But this is not mob justice. What needs to happen is regular justice needs to run its course. And you have the likes of GB News and right-wing media latching on to immigration here. This is not about immigration per se. This is about terrorists. Let's call them what they are. The loyalist paramilitaries are terrorists in Northern Ireland, using this as a tool to stamp their authority. They did it back during the Farage riots, the ones that were taking place in England. The ones that were taking place in Northern Ireland instead were, once again, the loyalist paramilitaries showing we're boss here, allowing the far right within our movement to let off a bit of steam. We want to copy what's happening in England, But at the end of the day, it's about them saying, we are in charge. We're going to force people out of their homes because we don't want them here, because we want to show that we are the boss. We decide who comes in and we decide who goes. Not the police, not the government, not the assembly, us. This is a dangerous situation. These people need to be faced down. These people need to be arrested. They need to be put in jail. They're engaging in not just antisocial behavior, but violence completely. And this risks harming people and perhaps even killing them. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.